Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be making my husband one of his favorite treats that I make. It's a cinnamon sugar pumpkin loaf. Now, I know it's December, I am well aware, but this is a fan favorite. I figured I'd do a little vlog of me making this pumpkin loaf for him and myself, I guess. I enjoy it too. I want to have a disclaimer. I am in no way a baker by any means. I like to bake, not a professional. Probably going to be doing a lot of things in a non-professional manner. Bear with me. I have the recipe right here in my notes, all written out. We're going to make a pumpkin loaf. Don't forget to preheat your oven to 350 before you get started mixing together all your ingredients. That way, by the time you're done, you can put your loaf right into the oven to bake. First, I get all the dry ingredients together. I'm going to put it in this little cute little bowl I got. You're going to need 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. You always want to level out your flour. That's 1. And that's 3/4. Amazing. Flour's done. Next, we're going to be doing the sugar. We're going to grab our cup again, and we need 1 cup of sugar. Usually try to level it out. Then we're going to do 1/2 cup of brown sugar. These little things I got at Hobby Lobby to hold my ingredients, my baking ingredients, like sugar, powdered sugar, flour, brown sugar, are so nice. And they're very well sealed. And I label them because I have 2 different kinds of sugar. And I have 2 different kinds of flour. And I like to use bleached versus unbleached depending on what I'm making. So next we're going to need, did I say it already? 1/2 cup of brown sugar. 1/2 cup. I use dark brown sugar. I like the taste a little bit more, I think. It's really good. You always want to pack in your brown sugar. I'll just go in with like a knife and just like press it down. Don't have to be perfect. Bowl's going to look like that. Then we're going to go in with 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Then you're going to want a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. Perfect. Then we're going to need a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Ooh, that was too much. That was too much. I regret to inform you that was too much. Oh my gosh, hold on. Okay, I used a little bowl to even it out so I didn't waste my salt. But 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Then we're going to add our spices. Those are the last 3 dry ingredients. We're going to add 1 teaspoon cinnamon. Yeah, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. I tend to be a little bit generous with my spices just because they taste so good in this little pumpkin loaf. And then you're going to want 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. And finally, you're going to want a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. Perfect. So now our bowl looks like this. The dry ingredients are done. We're going to move on to the rest of the ingredients. You need vegetable oil, canned pumpkin puree, milk, vanilla extract, and eggs. I'm going to start by putting in our vegetable oil. You just need 1/2 cup. Looks about right. I know people are like baking needs to be pretty exact, which I do agree. I have made this loaf so many times that I feel confident in my instincts to know if something will work or if it's too much or too little. Then 2 large eggs. Oh my gosh, this is the worst egg crack I've ever seen in my life. Second egg. Perfect. Then we're going to need a 1/4 cup of milk. The last ingredient is going to be the teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay, I lied. Obviously, the vanilla extract was not the last ingredient. The pumpkin puree was. Don't know why I said that. Gonna get 3/4 cup of pumpkin puree. Perfect. Then we're gonna take our whisk and whisk that all together. You're gonna wanna whisk both of the bowls of ingredients. Once all of the liquid ingredients are mixed together, it should look something like that. And then you take your bowl with your dry ingredients and you pour in the bowl with the liquid ingredients. Got this cute little Christmas spatula. I'm going to use that to get the rest of the liquid ingredients out of the bowl. And then we're going to fold it in. And you're going to want to stir until just combined. Don't over mix it. Okay, this is when you know it's about done. Just when there's a few lumps left and it's thoroughly mixed but not overly mixed. You can't see any flour left in the batter, but again, lumps are perfectly fine and actually preferred. Then you're gonna wanna lightly grease what is this? A 9x5-inch loaf pan. Usually people do it with like butter and flour. You can grease it with a spray, avocado oil, whatever you want, and then just pour it into the pan. Once that's all poured into your pan, you grab your cinnamon sugar topping. I just have a mixture of cinnamon sugar, and you're just going to want to really sprinkle that on generously. It adds a nice crust to it, and you can't really go wrong with cinnamon sugar. If you like cinnamon sugar's delicious, so why not add it to the top of the loaf? Once that is all done, the cinnamon sugar topping is on. As long as your oven's preheated, you can put the bad boy in the oven. I usually put it in for 55 minutes and then check it with a toothpick. If you like pumpkin, you should really like this. The only reason I'm making it in December is because it seems to be a fan favorite this year for a lot of my family members. I'm going to stick this in the oven for 55 minutes and then we'll see what it looks like after that. Once it's all done, it should look something like this. Just a nice, crisp crust. And that center should look like that. I do always use a toothpick to check it, so I'm just going to check the center. And it's not focusing on camera, but it does look fully cooked on the toothpick, so I'm going to say that it's done. Well, I think that concludes this little baking video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Just thought it'd be fun. And maybe this will inspire someone else to get into baking. I only got into baking probably the past year or so, but the last 6 months I've really been enjoying making things like homemade biscuits, homemade whipped cream, cake, cookies, and doing it all from scratch. The next thing on my list is sourdough. So we'll see how that goes. I think that concludes this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think I'm gonna go slice up the pumpkin loaf, put some butter on it, and serve it to my husband and I because that's our favorite way to eat it, fresh out of the oven with some butter. Thank you so much for watching. If you did, I hope to see you next time. I hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, thank you for being here.